Hello, everyone, and welcome to our investigation of lesson number 44 God is the light in which I see. Today, we are continuing the idea for yesterday, adding another dimension to it. You cannot see in darkness, and you cannot make light. You can make darkness and then think you can see in it, but light reflects life and is therefore an aspect of creation. Creation and darkness cannot coexist, but light and life must go together, being but different aspects of creation. In order to see, you must recognize that light is within, not without. Okay, so let's kind of break that down really quick. And so basically, all it's saying is you cannot see when you are in a state of fear. That's all that passage is really telling us. You cannot see when you yourself are in fear. You think you can. You may think you see the way out of it, but in truth, you can't really see inside your own fear, inside your own darkness. You are the one that made it. And that's a key word. And so I believe I've explained this in other videos, or maybe I haven't. Well, but it doesn't help it does help if we repeat it. And so the ego makes. What does that mean? I like to use this analogy. The ego will make a porcelain vase, okay? Beautiful, ornate, full of difficult and intricate designs. But here's the thing. With that, maybe beautiful, maybe gorgeous, but with a single flick of your finger, it's gone. Okay? That's how the ego makes. So it makes something, but in making it, it's not eternal. Not at all. You make it, it can be destroyed. Just like if you're making cookies. You can make a cookie. You can make 500 chocolate chip cookies. They can all have the exact same chocolate number of chocolate chips, the exact same calories, so forth and so on. However, at the end of the day, those cookies are going to be gone in one way, shape, form, or another. Now, the way that spirit creates like itself. It creates eternally. And that's the key here. The body is what the ego made. Okay? That's why it can break, it dies, so forth and so on. Spirit created spirit. God created your soul, which is why it is eternal. It never dies. It can never die. It can never be taken away. The light can never be taken from it. It is always the exact same luminosity. Just like everyone else. No one is lighter or brighter than anyone else. We are all equally light, equally bright. Then it goes in and says, well, we have to realize that the only way that we can see with the light is to realize that the light is within. Now, this doesn't mean within the body. Okay, once again, this is what the ego made. It cannot contain the eternalness that is you. There's no way it could. It doesn't have the capacity because it does not have the capacity to hold something that will never die and can never die. So to realize that the light is within you, meaning that number one, you are the light, and number two, that the light is in your mind. Now, the mind is kind of hard to define as well. So are you talking about my brain? No, we're talking about the eternal mind. And that, we could say is always transmitting to us in whatever way you want to look at that. And so that's really all this lesson is telling us. It's telling us we can't see when we're in fear. We just can't. We may think that we can, but we can't. The only way that we can see is with light. And the light is within us. And you cannot have light and darkness together because light dispels darkness. It doesn't fight darkness. It doesn't beat it up. It dispels it because it is not real. And that's, something, that word just, I love that word. It dispels darkness. So then it goes forward and it's, talking more about the exercise and, what we're going to do in the exercise. And it's also telling us now that if you can stand aside from the ego by ever so little, you have no difficulty in recognizing that its opposition and its fear are meaningless. You might find it helpful to remind yourself from time to time that to reach light is to escape from darkness, whatever you may believe to be the contrary. God is the light in which I see. You are attempting to reach him. Okay. And then as it continues forward, talking more about the exercise. And I love that it gives us this sense of, okay, if you're doing this correctly, and once again, there's really no right way or wrong way, but if you are really beginning to understand the concept, then it says, if you are doing the exercise correctly, you should experience some sense of relaxation and even a feeling that you are approaching, if not actually entering into light. Try to think of light formless and without limit as you pass by the thoughts of this world. And do not forget that they cannot hold you to the world unless you give them the power to do so. Throughout the day, repeat the idea often with your eyes open and closed, as whichever seems better at the time. But do not forget, above all, be determined not to forget today. So I really love this lesson because it's, like it said, it's adding another dimension to what we talked about in lesson number 43. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. So now it's saying, okay, well, God is that light that I see with, and God is always within me. Once again, not within the body, but within the mind. Okay, so I love this lesson, and I am super excited to investigate lesson number 45 with you next.